You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, guys and gals, we're going to talk about the New England Patriots. We got a couple of different things here. One, a little diversion away from what we would normally cover, and then a diversion right back into what we normally cover. But very surprisingly, Bill Belichick has issued a statement at his press conference today about the tragedy, the shooting that happened up in Maine. And so we're going to take a look at those comments that Bill Belichick made, and then we're going to divert over to what we would normally cover, which is the fact that, look, the Patriots may end up having some players on the trade block, but they may not get shit back, okay? For lack of a better way of putting it, just peeling through all the layers, hitting you right out of the box, they may not get anything in return because so many of the guys that they have available are free agents after this season. So you're getting a potential rental, and at this point, there's not a ton of big-time names anyway, and this may be a moot point because if somehow, some way, the Patriots pull off an upset and beat the Dolphins, then how can you trade anybody? Because all of a sudden, you're back in the AFC East playoff race. No other way to look at it. So, a lot can change in a matter of an 8 or 9 day span. So, let's do Belichick first. The region of New England is still mourning from the mass shooting in Lewiston, Maine on Wednesday night. Patriots head coach being the latest member of the local sports community to offer his condolences. Quote, "I'd like to send prayers to the people in Maine," Belichick said per a team-provided video. "It's obviously a tragic situation. They're great fans of ours, great friends up there. Maine's a great place, and I feel bad for all the pain up there in the situation they're going through." Bowdoin College? Is that? I don't know. I'm not from that area, so I have a lot of connections, and a lot of my friends went there, so I know the area pretty well. It's sad, difficult, and we're thinking about Maine down here with the Patriots. Obviously, it's a horrible situation that happened up there. And, man, we really need to address mental illness in this country. But that's just, man, that's a heavy subject, is it not? So let's flip over here. New England listening to everybody at the deadline. Albert Breer on Thursday reported New England is, quote, listening to everybody. Potential trade talks ahead of the deadline. The Patriots won't be willing to simply give players away, per Breer's report, but could part with key pieces for the appropriate return. Quote, they're going to listen on my understanding just about everybody, he said on Zolik and Bertrand. Now, that's within reason. They're not going to trade Christian Gonzalez off IR, but they're going to listen. And the more people I talked to last week, the more I got the idea that they're going to be fishing around for like a 3rd and 4th round picks. So in other words, if somebody will offer them a 3rd or 4th, they'll take it. So if they can add one of those or two of those for a player that maybe isn't playing a lot or they're just not going to re-sign, I think that would be sort of the idea that they'd be looking at. Well, then comes this from NBC Boston, and more specifically the Senator Phil Perry, and this is what he said. Sitting at 2-5 as a nearly double-digit underdog headed into the game at Miami, there's an obvious argument for the Patriots to be sellers at this year's Halloween trade deadline. But based on the opinions of NFL decision makers shared with NBC Sports Boston this week, it may be difficult for Bill Belichick to find offers that will entice him to deal away an impact player. Theoretically, the Patriots have pieces that contending teams would covet. Left tackle Trent Brown plays a premium position, is in the middle of one of his best seasons. Edge rusher Josh Uche had one of the most efficient pressure-generating seasons of anyone in 2022. Kyle Duggar, modern-day safety, versatile Kenrick Bourne, given opportunities he wasn't given a year ago, has reestablished himself as a starting caliber wide receiver. but all of those potential trade chips are in the final year of their respective deals. And therein lies the rub for Belichick. Quote, expiring contracts are tough, one general manager said. The trades that have been done, other than Kevin Byard, are late round flips. Maybe Uche is worth more, but you're paying for 10 games and no guarantees you'll have the guy the next year. The Eagles traded safety Terrell Edmonds and 5th and 6th round picks to Tennessee for the two-time first-team All-Pro safety Byard. Last season, Philadelphia general manager Howie Roseman was active as well, sending a 4th round pick for veteran Bears defensive end Robert Quinn. With even the best NFL clubs always seeking pass rush help, that kind of return for Quinn, who had the final 2 years of his contract removed to put him on an expiring deal, could be indicative of what a Super Bowl hopeful may pay for somebody like Uche. But a second general manager wasn't so sure that kind of haul would be out there for the Patriots when asked about potential trades involving Uche or any other fellow teammate on expiring deals. Quote, I would be surprised if any of those guys brought a 3rd or a 4th. It could be wrong, but I think the best any of those guys could bring would be a 5th. Would 5th round picks cause Belichick to salivate to the point of actually trading away some of his most talented players, even if they're not guaranteed to return to Foxborough in 2024? While the Patriots are open to listening to everybody, they just go on to say, basically, it's probably not going to happen. So, I don't know. He's wanting a 3rd or a 4th for some of these players that are available. I do think, look, Sunday is a massive pivot point in all this. You know, if they win, okay. I think if they win and their offense looks similar to what we saw against Buffalo, where it looks like a very competent offense, and Owenu still playing really good at right tackle, and Pop / Pep Douglas looks like he's going to be a true contributor to the team, and that speed, and Kenrick Bourne is still, those two guys are still getting a lot of targets and are the focus, and you can tell there's been a shift in personnel and in the way the scheme is being used with more movements and things of that nature. If all that comes together and they pull off a victory and they score 23 to 30 points, something above, say, 17, they score 24 points, I think you will see them possibly hang on to most of these people, or all of them, okay? And because the season, there's winnable games on the schedule, okay? So it just depends. Now, if they go out there, even if they win the game, but let's say they only score 14 points, and the offense looks boring and stagnant again, then it's going to be like, you know what, maybe we will move some pieces, because the offense is just not going to score enough points to be able to get enough victories put together to even think about or sniff the playoffs. But if you go out there and you score 23, 24, 27 points, 30 points against the Dolphins, okay, there's some offense on this team again. And the team's kind of exciting, and we might be able to go toe-to-toe offensively with some of these teams coming up, and there's some wins there. I think a lot of it Sunday is the big pivot point, and which way they go with trades, we'll have to see. Tell me what you think, black and white sports supporters. Peace them out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.